Alright, so whatever you guys do, do not watch the trailer for this film, because it spoils the whole fucking movie. Hello and welcome to Sci-Fi-Night. I'm your host, Sebastian Vendo Martinez, and this is the show where we check out some of the lesser-known sci-fi and horror movies out there and let you know what to expect from them. So, in tonight's episode, we're checking out a very unique and different kind of film, but unfortunately, some monkeys edited the trailer and decided to show the ending in it. So like I said in the beginning, do not watch the trailer for this film if it seems interesting. The 2002 film May is written and directed by Lucky McKees and is kind of hard to classify actually. On IMDb it's listed as a drama, horror and thriller, but you've got to throw some dark comedy into the mix and you've almost got it locked down. Angela Bettis stars as May, who you might recognize from the 2002 TV remake of Carrie. She's backed up by Jeremy Sisto, who you might recognize from Wrong Turn.
Hey, seriously, this isn't funny.
But the actor most of you will recognize is Anna Faris, who struck it big with a Scary Movie series. The film is about the character May, who, when she was growing up, was a strange little girl with no friends. Her mother gave her a suitably strange doll for her birthday, which remained her only friend as she was growing up.
I've always said, if you can't find a friend, make one. Happy birthday, sweetheart.
We follow May as an extremely strange and socially awkward adult who works as a veterinarian who is a little too desensitized to blood and gore. We follow a sad and lonely May as she desperately tries to find someone to be with.
I need a real friend. Someone I can hold.
Someone she can love and who loves her back, as she spent most of her life alone and friendless. But let's be clear, do not follow May's way of doing things by touching sleeping strangers. That's not a good way of making friends, that's a good way of going to jail. Her strange social awkwardness makes it very hard for her to socialize, and we realize as the film goes along that this poor girl is deeply, deeply disturbed. She does manage to strike up some relationships, but her longing for that one perfect friend seems to persist.
Call me anytime. I look forward to seeing you again.
Now, I realize that based on what I've said about this film, it doesn't sound like a horror film at all, but that's because I don't want to spoil anything for you like the really shitty trailer did. Yeah, I wish I could say more about the plot, but this really is a film that is better the less you know about it, especially as the film's tone gets darker and darker by the minute. I mean, there's tons of really creepy and cool stuff, but I can't really talk about it or show it without spoiling major stuff. Angela Bettis does an amazing job as the strange and tragic character May, who you genuinely feel sorry for, despite her odd and sometimes frightening mannerisms. Like really, I can't stress how great Angela Bettis is in this film. She manages to pull off a character that you both feel sorry for and kind of want to hang out with, but at the same time you want to stay the hell away from her. Director Lucky McKees, whose name sounds like it's straight out of an early 90s video game, does a great job in creating an unconventional film that avoids all the tropes and cliches that we're used to. The tone of the film gets progressively darker as the stakes get higher, and the few smiles and chuckles you'll have in the first half are replaced by shock and horror as there are some very dark themes brought up towards the second half. Another thing that director Lucky McKees manages to pull off great is the whole less is more feeling. He shows you just enough of something to pique your interest, but not enough of it to ruin it. So like I said, I really wish I could say more about the film, but it's just too hard to do it justice without spoiling anything. And a lot of the enjoyment of this movie has to do with the unexpected things that happen. So just take my word for it to check this movie out. You will not regret it.
Thanks for the advice, doll.
Alright, so I don't know how I'm going to tell you what to expect from this movie when I can't basically tell you anything, but well, let's give it a shot. What should you expect from this movie? An emotional roller coaster. This is definitely not your standard horror or drama film, or your standard film in general. This film makes you feel happy, sad, uncomfortable, confused, horrified. The list of feelings goes on. It's a very unique film in that the tone changes quite a bit, leaving you not knowing what to expect. Benitez's portrayal of May, like I said, is brilliant, and following such an unconventional main character with such a tragic story is a brave and bold move by the director.
I've just been racking my brains, trying to come up with something original. Do you got any ideas?
Creepiness. This is not your standard creepy feeling as one would feel about a haunted house or anything like that. No, this is something else. This is a very different kind of creepy that's almost a little hard to explain. It's like a slow descent into madness, where you don't realize you're there until it's too late. But it's also a very real kind of madness. A madness we can all understand, and even to some extent, relate to.
I was just thinking that maybe we could get together and do something.
I have plans.
Oh.
Quiet!
Hello? Who are you talking to?
What about tomorrow night?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, well, what time? I'll wait.
Don't do that.
No, it's okay. I'll wait.
A future cult classic. In all fairness, this seems to be a bit of a love it or hate it film, but The Thing, Pulp Fiction, and David Cronenberg's The Fly were all met with mixed to poor reactions when they were first released. The unique qualities and well-crafted artistic directing make this movie unlike most other films like it. Mark my words, in a couple years this will be regarded as a cult classic. Hopefully Lucky McKees' continued directing will be sure to cement that.
This stuff freak you out?
Nothing freaks me out.
Alright, so this is not just one of the strangest films I've talked about, but, looking back and reading the script, this is one of the weirdest episodes I've done as well. So if you prefer your films to stick to a certain formula, then you'll probably hate this because it's got such a different tone and structure than what you're really used to. After all, like I said, this flick does have kind of a love it or hate it feel.
Don't go.
However, you can't deny the fact that this is a very well-made film that was made for only $500,000, which is insanely little. If you're in the mood for something different, dark, tragic, something that's willing to challenge you and take risks, then go for it. Hopefully you'll love it as much as I did. So that about does it for this episode of Sci-Fi-Night. We hope you enjoyed it. As always, you should leave us some comments below, letting us know what you thought of this episode, future films you want to see brought up, and of course the movie May, which I liked so much that I looked up the director, and the next episode of Sci-Fi-Night is going to feature his darkest film to date, as well as his most controversial, so prepare yourselves for that. So, as always, I'm your host, Sebastian Mendel Martinez, and we'll catch you guys next time.
It was sweet.
You're sweet.
I don't think that she could have gotten his whole finger in one bite, though. That part was kind of far-fetched.